Mississippi's black leadership thinks that we should give up our constitutional right to open carry because they can't control their little young black males. Here's the story as community leaders demand action after a rise in gun violence across Mississippi after a deadly weekend that saw 10 people die of gun violence in, on, or near black, predominantly black HBCU college campuses, college football games, or high school homecoming games or events associated with those games, such as block parties and or tailgates. Very tragic, very sad, but why the hell should we give up any of our constitutional rights to protect ourselves from these thugs because they can't control their own? Hell to the no. We're going to pick it apart and tell you who's responsible. Should be no surprise to anybody that one of the main agitators here is the man pictured Fabian Nelson, Mississippi's only openly gay state representative. And of course, he waited till after he was elected to tell everybody he was gay. Already starting off from a point of distrust and lack of honesty. Tells you his character. All right, let's get started here. So as you know, as I just said there were multiple mass shootings in the state over the weekend, Friday night and Saturday. Well, there was only one legitimate mass shooting. That's the one in Leland, Mississippi, that saw 16 people get shot. 10 have now died. I'm sorry, 9 have now died. No, 10. 10 have died, and 6, and I got it backwards. 6 have died, 10 shot. Sorry, 10 have died total statewide from gun violence over the weekend. All right, so 10 shot, 6 dead in Leland. Then down in Heidelberg, which is near Laurel, 2 were murdered. So that brings us up to 8. And then, 3 died in that one. That brings us to 9. A third had died yesterday. I forgot about that. And then on the campus of Alcorn, 3 were shot, 1 died. And then another was shot at JSU. And that don't include the shootings right there on the campus of LSU, more black on black violence, as of course all of the ones in Mississippi were black on black. I find it funny that they want us to give up our rights. And they keep talking about open carry. Mississippi is a constitutional carry state to begin with, as Tyler Tharp with Big River Ballistics brought up on my show this morning, the Clay Edwards Show, which you can watch and or listen to every Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on YouTube, Facebook, or wherever you're watching this video. And of course, in your car on the FM dial at 103.9 FM. Open carry, concealed carry, it doesn't matter. You think these thugs are walking around holding their guns? I know you see some here and there that are just idiots and want you to know they got an AR-15 or whatever the hell else it is that they got. I got cool guns too, but I don't want to walk around talking about, save some Second Amendment for the rest of us, bro. These people are hiding their guns, and then they pull them out when they're ready to use them, like any respectable thief, crook, violent gang member would. All right, let's go over to WAPT. Let's play the video here. I was going to read it all, but let's just play it. There's several Black for a Living folks here that all think that white folks and everybody else should give up their Second Amendment rights because their kids are out of control in what I call culture rot. And as Kim Wade calls it, Democrat death culture.
Troy, community leaders are asking for accountability and responsible gun ownership.
Open. And yeah, before we go any further, the responsible gun ownership comment from Fabian, I got something for that.
Carry has created open season within our communities, and it affects all of us.
She says open carry has created open season in their community. No, it has not. 3 generations of the father out of the home and the mother addicted to welfare has created open season in your communities. Y'all took the whole phrase, it takes a village to raise a child, way too literal. That's why it's open season in your communities.
After a weekend filled with gun violence across the state, community organizers are demanding action.
Mississippi has seen a 60% increase from 2010 to 2022 in gun violence deaths.
Black women and these dumbass glasses like the one she has on. What is it with liberals and these dumb glasses that they all wear now? You have the white liberals that wear the ones with the black rings, and they all look the same. They all look like that lesbian from MSNBC. I forget her name. And then whether guy and girl, now at least black men usually don't wear these ridiculous things, but white men and white liberal women all do. And now black women are starting to wear, I call them like witches glasses. I don't know. Anyway, I digress.
It spiked in 2020 and then it started spiraling down. But now we see that it's going back up. We have to do something.
Danielle Holmes is the executive director of the Mississippi Impact Coalition. She's pushing for changes to open carry in Mississippi. Lawmakers like House Representative Fabian Nelson are in agreement, saying that responsible gun ownership is needed.
You know, there's a lot of gray area because I understand what people are saying, that we don't want our constitutional rights violated. However, responsible gun ownership is something that we have to have. And we do not have responsible gun ownership here in Mississippi.
That is a damn lie. We, in fact, do have very responsible gun ownership here in Mississippi. We don't have responsible gun owners in the black community in Mississippi. We don't have responsible legal gun owners in the black community here in Mississippi. Let's not sugarcoat this. Let's not tiptoe around the elephant in the room. There is a culture rot issue in the black community, and they want the rest of us to have to suffer for it. Here's a real simple solution in my mind. If we're going to step on people's constitutional rights, well, why don't we step on the thugs' constitutional rights and bring back stop and frisk? I like that a lot. I think we should absolutely bring back stop and frisk and let the cops run IDs and let the cops stop and frisk. If you got a gun on you and you ain't got an ID on you, you need to go to jail. I don't care if the gun's stolen or not. You shouldn't be able to have a gun and no ID. Plus, it's 18 to have a firearm or whatever. So you need to prove you're at least 18. These are real simple. It ain't open carry, concealed carry, or any other type of legal carry that's the problem. It's lack of stop and frisk. I think that's the problem.
Under state law, anyone 18 or older are able to purchase and carry a firearm legally without needing a permit. Deadeye Arms owner Larry Cowart says removing firearms is not the solution.
I mean, that's totally ridiculous. If we take all the guns away and just give it to the police and giving it to the military, so to speak, you're going to have more violence in this country than you ever dream of.
The Mississippi Impact Coalition is working with other community organizations to come up with their next steps on ending gun violence.
Now, they've already canceled other tailgating activities at a lot of these predominantly black school districts for the rest of the high school football season. And the MHSAA, that's Mississippi High School Athletics, blah, 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 association that controls high school football, they have recommended that everybody cancel on-campus tailgating. But fortunately, a lot of the suburban areas that, you know, with people that know how to act, suburban areas that aren't ate up with culture rot, they're continuing on and they'll have a little beefed up police presence. But I don't think you'll see any of these problems in the places that, you know, you haven't ever seen any of these problems. Brandon, Madison, Pearl, etc. What do you guys think? What is the solution to the culture rot and the gun violence in the black community? Sound off in the comments and I will reply to everybody. Be sure to swing by my merch shop at buyfafo.com. That's buyfafo.com. We got the all new military green FAFO shirts in, as well as their black counterpart right now. Swing by. A couple of hats available left. And don't forget, every shirt comes with a free matching sticker, or 2 or 3, depending on how friendly I'm feeling when I stuff your envelope. Y'all be blessed. Peace.